Okay, so I'm gonna take this necklace piece that I have, it's just a chain. So I'm gonna take this chain and I'm going to begin my assembly process. So as you can see, I am laying out my pieces, and this has just helped me to visualize the pieces and where they're gonna go. So I have some that are small and some that are big. So I'm just going to start to lay out where these are going to go. And based on color as well, in my pattern, I want to have some kind of color balance. So I also want variety in my piece. So I'm going to be looking at colors, maybe keeping the reds towards the sides and the greens and blues towards the middle. So I can start to lay out where these are all going to go and how they're going to be placed. If they're really skinny and small, maybe I want to keep those towards the sides. If they're bigger and wider and longer, maybe they'll go towards the middle. Here's another red one that I'm going to keep towards the red side. This is a small one, so I'm going to keep the small one over here. Here's another small one, so I'm going to bring that one over here. And I also designed these so that there's two sides to them, so if they do flip, they have a pattern on both sides, a print from the business card that I cut up on both sides. So now that I kind of have it laid out as to how it's going to go, I am going to start by maybe taking the middle piece and attaching it. So in this case, I have all these little wires that are sticking off, so I'm going to kind of move them down. You guys probably can't see that too well, but I'll start with my middle piece and find the middle of my chain. And there's the middle of my chain. So I'm ready to start putting it through. So I'm taking my wire that I have, a little tail of wire, and I'm just going to line it up. And again, this is where you can decide on how long you want it to hang off of the chain, how far you want it to hang off the chain. And then basically you're going to do your wrapping technique the same way you wrapped your wire rings, your wire beading techniques, any of those things from our first lesson on wire wrapping. So I'm just taking my time to wrap this up and to get it kind of attached onto my chain. So my first one is on, and I'm going to cut off that extra wire when I'm done. Doesn't look that nice, but I'm going to make it look a little neater. Okay, you'll get into a groove, you'll get into the way that it works. I sure was when I made all these pieces. Okay, so that looks good now, and I'm just going to trim off right at the base of that wire. So now I've got that piece attached. My first one is now attached. So I'm going to continue working, and I'm going to take my next one in my pattern and maybe put it at an inch away from where the first one was. I don't want them to be too close yet because I don't know how it's going to look. So I'm going to do inch increments. So my first one is on, my second one is now going on at an inch away from the first. So I'm going to wrap same way I did, about the same distance away from my paper triangles. So I'm about ready to fast forward this video so that you guys can see the finished product. All right.